I always do these interview videos, and I just really want to take the time, as always, just to sit in front of the camera, talk to you guys one-on-one, just let you guys know how things have been going with me, what's been happening with the channel, personal life, weight loss updates, all that sort of stuff. Some people are interested in learning more about me. As you know, I'm pretty private. I don't really talk about myself too much, and I think mainly the reason is because I don't think most people are really interested, and that's okay. You know, like, you're here for the content. You don't really care about what's going on in my life and in my world, but sometimes I like to open up the door a little bit and kind of show you guys what's been happening. But anyway, let's kind of move on and talk about a couple of things first. And the first one is, how has this year gone on YouTube for me? There's been a lot of people talking about how the algorithm has really kind of hurt their channel and views have gone down. I saw some other take about how it had to do with ad blockers and various other things that potentially could cause a drop in the views. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to bullshit anyone. Here's what I'm going to say. In my experience, the reason why your views are dropping is because your content is not interesting. I think you really just have to be realistic and, real with yourself about why this is happening. This is a very niche kind of area that we make content in, kind of the video game, retro gaming space, and it's very cyclical. Sometimes there is a lot of really big momentum going on, and sometimes it's kind of just dull and boring. There's nothing happening. And ultimately, if I do take a look at my analytics for 2025, I've had a pretty good year, but it's not really any better or any worse than it was previously. So it's around the same. And I think ultimately, a lot of people saying, their views are dropped and whatnot. If you make good content, I've always said this, if you make good content, then everything will be okay. But, if you start panicking and start, wondering what's going on, and trying to figure out why this is happening and kind of racking your brain, look, you're going to just kind of run in circles. Like, it's going to be a situation where you're just going to make up all these weird excuses for the fact that maybe the content you're making isn't that interesting at this particular time. And I want to be clear on that, at this particular time. Now, the reason why my channel continues to kind of get views, and if you look at my channel, you could kind of look at it and say, yeah, Dimitris has been successful for many, many years. It's not really rocket science. It's really that I like to make evergreen content. And these videos that you see, they slowly generate views over time. None of my videos, I would say, have really become viral in the traditional sense. Most of my videos, will do like 100,000, between 100 and 200,000 views in its first 24 hours, and then it will just kind of trickle and get higher over time. Now, if you look at my channel again, some of these videos have good views on them, but it's just a slow and steady, supply of people watching, and it's because I make evergreen content. Some people don't have the luxury of doing that, of course, and making evergreen content means you have to spend more time editing and making videos and filming and editing and all that sort of stuff, scripting. But it's the way that I've always done it and the way that I've always liked it. So look, for me, this year has gone about the same as last year, which has gone the same as the year before. Maybe a little drop in the views this year, but I will also say there were some weeks, again, where I just didn't feel like making a video. Like, I've always said, if you guys watch me, I know many of you have, pretty much since the start, but I just don't want to shit out a video for the sake of a video. I don't have to do that. I know some people, some creators, some friends of mine that have to make content pretty much every day, to support themselves, feed their families. I have the luxury of having a full-time job, and this has always been a side project for me, and it's one of the reasons why I always love making YouTube videos. It's because I don't feel like I'm trapped in this YouTube cycle where it's just content, and just making clickbaity style videos for the sake of doing that. So I think that's been very, very, helpful for me and my journey and being successful. Another milestone that I hit this year was 900,000 subscribers, which was awesome. It may be an outside chance. I may not hit 1 million next year, but if I don't, it'll be pretty close. But that's going to be a really big milestone for me, hitting 1 million followers or 1 million subs on YouTube. Again, something that I never really had set out to do and planned out to do. I kind of just want to make cool content, make cool videos, and just let the organic growth, just keep going over time. Look, I'm very, very happy about it. I did say that we'll do some celebration for 1 million subs. We'll do something. Maybe I'll do a live stream. We'll do some giveaways, and I've got some really cool ideas about what we could do. But I definitely want to give back and say thank you to everyone that has been following me, for all this time and hitting 1 million followers. I think that would be a really big milestone. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're still kind of on the grind, as far as making videos and continuing to do what I do here. But no, things are great. I'm feeling good about the content. Made some really good videos that I'm really happy with this year. I think my favorite video of this year was the part 1 Signosis video that I had so much fun making. I know a lot of people are waiting for part 2, and it is coming, guys. Look, these videos, they take a long time. They take a long time to script. They take a long time to edit, and I always go back and have to rethink about, what I'm doing. And also, I'm a full-time, I work full-time, and it makes it a lot harder just to, spend, 30 hours a week, making these types of videos for you guys. But rest assured, it is in the lab. It's coming out, and I'm pretty excited about it. The part 1 was received really well, and I think part 2 is going to be just as good. And a lot of people are waiting for that. So, thank you for the support on that video. Definitely my highlight for 2025. But there's been some good videos that I've done this year that I've been pretty happy with. But as always, let me know what you guys want to see in the description below, what kind of videos, what kind of content. I know some of you guys kind of follow me for the retro game stuff. Some of you like to watch the emulation stuff that I do. Some of you more into the hacking stuff. There's a bit of a different demographic of different people that kind of follow what I do here. So let me know, what you want to see as far as content going forward. Now, as far as some personal updates for me, there's been a few changes that happened this year for me. I ended up leaving my job at Limited Run Games in August of this year. And I haven't really spoken about it too much because, look, it's not really something that I think a lot of people, again, are interested in knowing about me, but there's definitely a section of people that follow me here on YouTube that do know that I work in the game industry, and I did work at Limited Run. I want to be very clear that my departure to leave Limited Run, or my departure from Limited Run, was nothing but love. It wasn't. There was some kind of rumblings that I read online about people saying, why did Dimitris leave and what's going on there? Look, nothing was going on there. I felt like it was time after 6 years that I wanted to kind of step up and level up and do something different. So I applied for a job at Digital Eclipse as an emulation engineer. It's something that I had posted on their website. I think it's been sitting there for at least a few months, and I got the job. So I'm very, very happy to be on that team. I've been there for 4 months now, and I love it. I'm so happy to be a part of the Digital Eclipse team. It's a company that I kind of grew up with, they've been around since I can remember, when, from the earliest OG Xbox consoles with the old collections they used to do, and some of the early arcade kind of conversions they did on the OG Xbox. And even before that with, the Game Boy Color and some other games that I remember them doing. It's just a dream come true to work for a studio with such as the caliber of Digital Eclipse. I'm very, very happy to be a part of that team. And look, it's been a great move for me, and I feel very much recharged and reinvigorated to do some really awesome stuff. So next year and beyond, there's some really cool projects that are coming out from the team at DE. Of course, I can't talk about them, such as the nature of the industry and NDAs and all that stuff. But now the other personal thing I want to mention is my weight loss. Now, last year I did talk about weight loss and how things were going. This year, as you can see, I've kind of been maintaining, losing weight, and I've kind of just flatlined at a certain point. And I wanted to mention this because some people have been asking me, Dimitris, are you okay? Are you feeling good? Are you sick? You know, is everything okay? You know, there was some generally worried people about how I was starting to look, right? I guess, you know, when you kind of start to slim down, there is some people that may think that you're suffering some kind of illness or some type of, you know, sickness or something. But again, I just want to be very clear that my reasons for losing weight are purely to prolong my life. You know, 52 this year, turning 53 in 2026. And look, I want to live for as long as I can and be as healthy as I can. So I think weight loss is a huge part of that, and trying to eat right has always been something that I've subscribed to as being one of the reasons why, you know, people live longer lives than some other people. It's a topic that I really feel passionate about, because I have seen friends and family, you know, lose their lives, some of them quite young, to various health-related complications. But as far as, you know, how much I'm weighing this year compared to last year, I haven't really dropped any, but I haven't really gained. I've kind of been flatlined at about 165 pounds, which is something that I'm pretty happy with. You know, like, I think there's still a part of me that just loves eating and loves food. And I don't think I really want to go any lower than that. I feel like if I start to kind of drop to anything less than that, then, you know, that may be something that I don't like. But, you know, I do like food. I still like carbs. I still like, you know, eating food, right? But I think, you know, the thing I've always said is it's all about portions and less snacking, and really just not overeating. It's very easy to kind of overeat and, you know, get in a situation where you're just eating food for the sake of eating food. But look, my weight loss journey is going to continue. You know, I don't even know if you call it a journey anymore. It's really just, you know, here I am. I've dropped this weight, and I want to continue to kind of maintain this level of where I'm at. So, but yeah, I do appreciate people, you know, asking me, you know, am I doing okay? I think that's, you know, really cool that people, you know, ask those questions. But I am fine, guys. Everything is good. Body's good. Mind is good. Feeling great. So, you know, hopefully we can continue doing that for many, many years to come. Now, I do want to talk about YouTube and my future at YouTube, because I think it was a couple of years ago where I thought maybe it was time, you know, to think about how much more time I have left on YouTube, and, you know, when my end date will be on YouTube. But I got to be honest with you guys, in 2025, there was definitely some times where I just didn't want to make content. I just felt like I just had no desire or no, you know, energy or excitement about making videos. And look, I don't want to call it YouTube burnout or anything like that, because I'm not burnt out on YouTube, right? Like, YouTube burnout, I don't even know if that's even a real thing. Let's be honest. People that say that they're burnt out, usually they're saying that because their views have dropped, right? Let's cut the bullshit. You know, you're saying that you're burnt out on YouTube because you're cranking out all these videos, but no one is watching, or, you know, your views have tumbled as a result. That's YouTube burnout. But you know, for me, I was in a situation where I just kind of felt like it's the weekend and I just don't want to make a video. I just want to play video games and just relax and unplug. And I did that more than a few times this year. I think this year I have less videos out than I did previous year. Not by much, but I think I only have like 41 videos out this year, where last year I had 45 videos and the year before I had like 48 videos. So, you know, I definitely missed you know, quite a few weeks this year. I was also traveling as well this year to Europe over the summer. But I think this year, you know, I'm kind of in the mindset of, look, if I don't want to make a video, then I'm just not going to. I don't have to feel that kind of pressure to make videos. I think a lot of creators kind of start to really panic that if they don't make a video for like a week, that their audience is completely lost. You know, they're going to go somewhere else. And I'm guilty of that too. I've definitely had those feelings, right? But that is just a bad way to be, because that's what YouTube is trying to promote to you, to continue to always upload content every single week or every single day. You know, if you don't, then your name is dropping in the algorithm. It's going down the list, right? But here's one thing that I've learned. If you have enough of a following that do follow you, that really do genuinely appreciate the videos and the content that you make, they will stay with you. They're your ride and dies. They will always be there with you. And it was many, many times where I would take a break and not upload for like a week or 2 weeks and then drop a video the following Monday, and it was just business as usual. Like I hadn't lost anything at all. And it was very, very refreshing and really kind of just, it made me think, look, don't worry about schedules as much as you used to. Don't worry about grinding as much as you used to. If you're still making videos, you're still making good videos, good content, then your audience, your fans will continue to watch. And that's the bottom line. So look, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I've said a lot in this episode, but as always, I'm going to leave the last word to my wonderful audience, you guys. For years, you have continued to support this channel. And every year that I get older and every year that I continue to do this, I'm just more humbled at just the people that continue to watch and follow me and have supported me since the very beginning. I've always done this solo. I've never had any help on this channel. I've always felt like YouTube is about you. It's about you and your expression and how you feel. So I've just kind of always felt weird about when people ever wanted to come in and help me and assist me with the channel. Look, I always appreciate people that want to help out, but I feel like if I'm managing other people, then that sounds like work to me, and that's not really something that I really want to deal with. I'd rather just do it myself. But thank you guys so much. I say this every single year. You guys are the absolute best. I have the best fans in the world. So thank you guys once again for your continued support. We're going to wrap up and have a bit of a break at the end of the year like we always do, but we'll be back with content early in 2026. Thank you again, guys, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.